What's going on, YouTubers? Today we are going to be having a special video on a speculative healer build for The Division.
Did someone say they needed a healer?
No, I said we're doing a healer build, Alexa.
So I got dressed up for nothing?
Well, a healer build, Alexa, is a set of perks, skills, talents, and modifications for a video game that's geared towards, executing a specific function in team-based player dynamics. The only thing you'll be building with that on is pitch tents.
Well, I, for one, happen to thoroughly enjoy camping.
Well, I'll be sure to enlist your help for our next Call of Duty multiplayer tutorial then.
But with that being said, today we're going to give you a breakdown of exactly what you'll need to make a successful healer build in The Division. Obviously, until the game is actually released, we cannot for sure know exactly how all of the combinations of skills, perks, mods, and talents will play out in combination with specific armor and weapon boosts, but we are mainly making this video for you to use as a baseline when you break into the title for the first few hours after release.
So, what exactly do we know this far about what will comprise a build in The Division for the healers? Well, there are 12 skills in total out there, Alexa, of which you can only use 3, 2 of which are normal, and one of them is actually going to be attained by maxing out a wing in your home base, and that will be called a signature skill. You will need to mod each skill with 1 mod and 1 master mod. There are 24 talents total, 8 per wing, and you can use a total of 4 talents at a time when you finally hit your max level, which is going to be 30 when the game is first released. While upgrading your base or your different wings, you can unlock 40 different passive perks, all of which can be equipped simultaneously. So, the 2 initial skills we recommend that you're going to equip are going to be Pulse, because this is going to be a skill that sends out a recon pulse that marks hostiles and allies through walls and covers. It'll also provide a bonus to you and your teammate for increased critical hit chance and damage.
The second perk we're going to recommend is going to be First Aid, which will heal all allies within a small radius. The device can also be used on location or launched to a distant target.
After you have that ability though, Alexa, I think that we're going to recommend that you upgrade to the Support Station. And the Support Station is going to be a skill that drops, well get this, a Support Station that heals allies, and it can also be used to revive down players. The signature skill we'll be equipping after this is Recovery Link, is what it's called. This Recovery Link will heal and cure the users and nearby allies, and also revives downed allies within range. And this signature skill will also have the ability to overheal beyond the maximum health, alright? So it's going to be a must-have for healers, and you have to remember that once you have Recovery Link, you can switch Life Support mod with the Immunizer mod, being as you don't need 2 revive abilities. Alright, so Alexis, you can see we are going to pull up right over here on the screen. This way, we're going to show up all of the mods, talents, and perks that you can use that we recommend. We've made a nice little graphic for it so that our users can just easily visualize exactly what they should be selecting when they start their build on The Division when this comes released March 8th. And so first of all, we're going to be discussing is mods, alright? So remember, you can have 1 mod plus 1 master mod. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you what mods we suggest that you look into when you start your healer build. So the first mod that we're going to have is the Recon Pack, alright? So basically it gives the Pulse an increased range, and it's capable of locating nearby loot containers, alright? The second one after this we are going to recommend is going to be the Tactical Scanner mod. So with this mod, damage is increased when attacking any hostile targets identified by the pulse scan. Alright, the next one we're going to suggest, we would only suggest it, I think, for the DZ zone. So for the DZ, we recommend Scrambler, which is a pulse that protects the user and all of your allies against hostile enemies. Alright, so basically it's going to make sure that nobody can see you if you've gone rogue or if you're running away. It's just going to give you some good coverage so that other people aren't going to be sending out their pulse scan and catching you up in their radar. After that, we're going to recommend the Defibrillator, which is a First Aid mod. Alright, so the Defibrillator can revive down allies and grant them a portion of their normal health. After this, it's Overdose, and this is the one that we're going to recommend when you have this one unlocked, because Overdose heals targets more effectively, and it may even extend the target's health beyond the normal limit. So like what we're looking at here is if, let's say, you send out a healing blast to heal a teammate that's got very low health, it's going to heal him more, but let's say you have another teammate that has pretty much full health, it's going to heal him past the normal health that he has. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So after that, we're going to go into Booster Shot. Booster Shot is another first aid mod, which will temporarily increase damage for the affected targets in addition to the normal healing effect. After this, we're going to go into Life Support, which is a support station mod, alright? And so this is going to drop a revival station that automatically revives any allies and anybody who's downed within the affected area. Okay, this is great. And as we discussed early, Immunizer, which is a support station mod that we say that we can use this instead of first aid after we get the recovery link. So this is the Immunizer mod, and it's going to drop a recovery station that removes status effects and makes allies immune within that affected area. So if you're stunned, or if you're bleeding, or if you've been maybe even flashbang, this is going to be the thing that is going to be able to remove those negative status effects and get you back to doing DPS as quickly as possible. After this, we have the Ammo Cache, and the Ammo Cache is another support station mod that basically refills up your ammo as you're reloading while standing in the affected area. As you can see, from moving on from there, why don't we have Alexa tell you a little bit about the talents that are going to be available?
Okay, the talents that we're going to have available, Adrenaline, use a medikit when not all full health to receive an overheal. Shock and Awe is another talent, suppress a hostile to increase movement speed by 25% for 10 seconds. We're also going to have Critical Save, use a medikit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. Combat Medic is another talent, use a medikit near allies to heal group members and proxies within 20 meters by 40%. Strike Back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. Shrapnel, applying bleed to any target triggers a 30% chance to apply the effect to all targets within 10 meters. Battle Buddy, revive a downed agent to reduce incoming damage by 50% for 10 seconds for both players. And Triage, heal an ally with a skill to reduce skill cooldowns by 15%.
Alright, so I think for this one here, Alexa, I think that the three that we are going to want to focus on is going to be Adrenaline. Alright, so use a med kit when not at full health to receive an overheal. Alright, so
we like the overheal.
Yeah, the overheal is definitely going to be a good one.
Yeah.
The next one that I think we need to go to is Critical Save. If you use a med kit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. Alright. After this, we're going to go to Combat Medic is what I'll say, which is use a med kit in your allies to heal group members and proxies within 20 meters by 40%. That's 20 meters. That's quite some range for a healing effect to take place. The one after this that I would recommend is Battle Buddy, which is revives a down agent to reduce incoming damage by 50% for 10 seconds for both players. Now let's look at Battle Buddy, and then let's look at it in comparison to Critical Save. So imagine this. Imagine you have a teammate that's been down by a group that's pushing in on you. You're the medic. You run in to save him. You go down to heal him, but as soon as you get there, you're getting shot at, and your health is getting low. So what do? You hit a med pack. As soon as you hit this med pack, you're going to have Critical Save. Critical Save is going to, while you're low health and you use it, reduce incoming damage resistance by 40%. After that, you revive your down buddy. Once you revive your down buddy, we use Battle Buddy. So this talent is going to basically give you another 50% damage resistance for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
both of you.
awesome.
So that is amazing. If those stacks, that's a full 90%. 90%. All right. And the thing that I want to remind all of our viewers right now is that talents in specific are not anything that you have to press a button to activate. They're just basically effects that take place when certain conditions are met. All right. That's all they are. So it's the same. It's sort of like perks, except perks are always active, but talents only happen when X, Y, and Z are true.
Yes.
All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is the perks, since we've already been talking about them. And the first one we have is the one that I recommend, obviously, that we want to get is medkits. Increase medkit inventory by 1 slot. All right.
Can't have enough medkits.
You can't have enough medkits. As of now, you can have 3 when you start off if the beta was anything to go by, and getting 1 more will give us up to 4. After that, we have protective measures, which will increase virus protection by 1, gaining access to higher contamination areas. Not sure how effective this is going to be for a medic or how apropos during heated combat, but it's something to consider, considering that you can have all of the perks eventually. And I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm sure that certain perks will be available at different levels. Maybe you'll have to pick one over another. So this would be one that I would say for later if you have that type of options. After that, we have canned food, which increases canned food effect by 10 seconds. We have supplier, which allows you to collect canned food, water, energy bars, and soda in the supply line once per hour. So that's a pretty good one right there, because it's constantly giving you food for you to take, for you to supplement your cooldowns, for you to have better damage resistance, all this stuff. After that, we're going to have contamination intel, which will reveal all contaminated areas on the map. Again, something that I could see being useful, but not something that I would necessarily cite in as a priority during your initial build.
Yeah.
After this, we have hazardous materials, which will increase your dark zone inventory by 1 slot. Again, on the bottom of the list. But then we have rigor, which collects fabrics, and the medical wing once per hour for crafting materials. That's something that could be very useful. The next one we have credit, which increases credit gains by 10%. And the final one that I would highly recommend that we get as soon as possible is talents, which basically increases the number of talents we can have by 1. So instead of 4 talents, how many does that mean that we could have, Alexa?
It means we can have 5.
5 talents.
Yes. The other thing we want to stress is to equip armor and weapons that increase skill and health above all else. It's okay to take a hit on DPS, as this build has to be survivable and have greater ability to heal others.
Alright guys, so I think that pretty much is going to wrap up our speculative build for the healer. As always, we don't have the full game release. We haven't played the full game, so we don't know everything that's going to happen. So we could be wrong in a lot of our assessments. You might find something that works better when the game actually comes out. But what we're trying to do is we're just trying to give you a baseline to build your character, to build this medic as you first enter in the game, so that you can know exactly what type of perks, skills, mods you want to have your sights on. As usual, we hope you liked our video, and we hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. But until then, until March 8th, we will catch all of you post-apocalyptic wanderers on the flip side.
Bye.